Alright, greetings to my fellow Beast Blunderers. How is everybody doing on this wonderful Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, Saturday night, Saturday morning, doesn't matter. Wherever you are in the world, welcome to the stream. How are you guys doing? We've got some people in the chat already, so this game is easy is back in the chat for a second day in a row. That's awesome. Thank you very much for coming back. We've got Aaron back as well. I don't think I've seen you for a couple of days, mate. How are you doing, my friend? Also, Mr. Chicken, Carnage is here. Mr. Chicken, I'm not sure I'm recognizing that nickname. Where do you come from, my friend? Yes, let me actually fix the chat as well. It's for a second day in a row. It sort of falls off, but luckily it's just a 1 second fix. There you go. There's the chat. Alright, so, guys, how are you doing tonight? Please let me know if you've got any news to share, good or bad. Sad or happy. If you're open to sharing, then feel free to do that. Also, of course, don't hesitate to ask me any kinds of questions, chess related or otherwise. The plan for today's stream is, well, as per usual, like we had it last couple of days, I'm going to play a couple of games, Blitz or Rapid, we will see. And then I'm going to show you guys a game that I played today in the tournament. This is round 8. The tournament is almost over, and boy is this an interesting game to analyze. You really want to stay tuned for that. I think the analysis part comes in about half an hour to 40 minutes. You don't want to miss the classical game analysis, and after the analysis I'm gonna be, of course, back to playing you guys. So yes, I just got a notification for one of the streams. Decided to join today. Well, thank you very much. Where do you come from? Mr. Chicken to Moscow is here as well. Is that your first time to Moscow? That's what she said again. I'm sorry. Where do you come from, my friend? I'm not sure I recognize your nickname either. Carnage says can't always be here. That's no problem. As look, like just enjoy your vacation, just enjoy your holiday. That's the most important thing. Kyle is also here. Max is also here. Nice. You're already done, even if a match started at 10. Well, it's 6 hours after the match started, so yeah. I have been done for quite a while. So yes, this is day 13 of our stream-a-thon, and that means, you know, we keep moving on, we keep going. Feel free to like the stream preemptively. And yes, just let's go. Let's get to 50 viewers. Don't you matches last 52 hours? There's one other thing that lasts 52 hours within. Oh wait, that would be a bit too long. That would be a bit too long. 52 hours is how many in minutes? Carry the one. Yeah, it's a bit too many. It's nearly 8 p.m. where I am. I mean, yeah. If you're in Asia, then yeah, it should be around that time. Yeah, so yeah, welcome to the stream, everyone. Didn't you say yours last 4 seconds the other day? I tend to contradict myself every stream, and that is okay. I, as a true artist, leave all kinds of information and all kinds of facts open to your interpretation as the viewer. So yes. Yes, alright, so let's get started, shall we? If you guys don't have any major massivest updates to share, let me get started with the games, shall we? And yes, we've got 2290 from Poland. Are they going to play me? Are they going to abort because I'm too low rated for them? We'll see. Sometimes when there is this big of a difference in rating, people are reluctant to play. Alright, no, props to that person. Didn't abort. Probably the majority of people would at that point in time. Kyle already reserves the queue. Alright, so Kyle is going to be the first to play me after we are done with the analysis. If you guys want to play me later in the stream in about an hour's time, then yes, just identify yourself and let us know in the queue. Will you look at my game today? Yes, will be, because I promised, and it looks like, hopefully, today we have enough time. Today we have enough time. So it's an interesting setup. We've got a6, we've got this. So it's either knight f6 or bishop e7. It's one or the other. So this. Okay, and now we are going to play bishop f4. Knight. Okay. What is the move order here? I don't want to mess this up. So, I'm going to show you some magic. Do you want to see a magic trick, people? Do you want to see a magic trick? Come on. I'm going to show you a magic trick. I'm going to show you what a true Smith-Morra connoisseur does. So takes, and then watch it. Actually, don't watch it if you are feeble, not feeble-minded, but like sensitive. Bishop b5 check. Bang. So it's... Oh, my bishop! Oh no. Alright, good. We're back at it. We're back at it. So, the point of that sacrifice, which is actually a theoretical sacrifice in this specific setup, is that I sacrifice a piece, and then after the knight recaptures, it hits the queen. Queen probably goes to b8. Probably. May go to b6. But I would rather say it goes to b8. b6. Alright, fair enough. And now we've got a threat number 3 incoming. Oopsie daisy. Which is preventable. You can play rook b8. That's fine. You can do that. That is also fine. In fact, I expect rook b8, to be honest. No, does not happen. Does not happen. Rook b8 does not happen. Ha! Ha 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 ha. Okay, interesting. But it shouldn't work. This move I was not anticipating, but my god, it's not supposed to work, is it? Let me think about it for a second. So, I can always do b4, trying to kick that bishop out. The problem is, bishop just sacrifices itself, I guess. And after queen takes, blah blah blah, takes 6, a lot of recaptures. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. Any ideas, anyone? Nah, don't tell me. Don't tell me. That's against the rules. So, I guess I'm not as smug as I thought. This move I'm not recognizing. Like, if it's not a move that I know, it should be bad. We just need to find out why it's bad. Right? 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 Bloody hell. I am so confused. So, bishop c5. So this is impossible and kind of looks a bit silly. Queen e3 is a well-known gambit. That is correct. That is correct. Game is easy. You come with very poignant point. Absolutely. 100%. There has to be a reason. Like, no joke. There has to be a reason why bishop c5 is bad. Why don't I know it? The guy just sent a smiley face in the chat. Interesting. I don't like when opponents do that. It's like they make a move they think is clever and then they laugh at you. I would never do that. Come on. Stay classy. Stay classy. Just because I'm thinking doesn't mean that we're losing, are we? There has to be a move. There's an obvious reason. There's an obvious reason for what? For that move being bad? Yeah, well. Let's see. Takes. There's only 2 viewers. Well, there's only 2 viewers. That's fine, Kyle. That's not a big deal. We just started the stream and it's quite early. I don't mind that. In fact, I would rather prefer if I don't know the number. Because not knowing the number just helps not to focus on a number of viewers. That's the thing. Now that you told me, I'm gonna be thinking, bloody hell, I have 2 viewers instead of not knowing. Oh, it's so sad. Nah. Well, first of all, I'm not gonna be thinking that. Second of all, if you do think that, it's very distracting. So I never see how many viewers there are, and I only rely on your information. So yes, it's very counterproductive. Well, look, the best idea that I have currently is just knight takes, and when bishop checks, I just ignore the check, because I don't know. Rishkan, welcome back to the stream, my friend. Just castles. Okay, so ignores my ignoring of the threat. Okay. Like, why does bishop c5 work? It has to suck, doesn't it? It has to suck. Why haven't we found a reason why it doesn't? Why it does suck? Very, very interesting. And now because the king castled, I don't have the privilege. Usually in these positions, right? In these positions, you can go knight c4, because if queen takes knight, you can do this check, right? Nick, welcome back to the stream as well. So we went into a theoretical sacrifice in the Smith Moore that I'm familiar with, but this bishop c5 move really startled me, because it's not a move that I've ever seen, but it kind of works. Although it shouldn't be. If you find this POG move, you're a GM. Well, I'm not a GM. And I'm not seeing any moves. Well, luckily this is rapid, so we can think about it, but... I'm thinking. I'm trying to think. I'm sorry, I'm literally using all of my computing power. I'm sorry if I'm silent. Usually the games are more energetic, but at this moment in time, I'm just massively confused. I was so smug playing that sacrifice that I knew, and I'm not that smug anymore. Weird stuff. So how are you guys doing? Let me know in the chat. What's up with you people? What's up with you? So yeah, like, like this bishop could at any point just capture, and there's just no use. Wow. What's a mental exercise? I don't know, like playing some like king h1 just to avoid the check. It screams just defeatist. Screams defeatist. If only you knew how bad my position is all of a sudden. Like, because this game is easy, hinted at me probably being winning or okay, because there is some move. I'm just not seeing it. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just sort of letting the clock run down. Oh, at almost 2 minutes. Okay, I don't wanna confuse you with my silence. Let's resign and use it as a learning moment, because I don't know what happened there. Like, I could be actually winning in this position if I find the correct move. It's just that I couldn't. Let's see. So I am really curious. If only my engine worked. Come on, settings, please. There you go. What? Bishop sacrifice doesn't work? What the hell? What? Are you mad? Well, I messed the move. You needed to attack the knight and sacrifice the rook. What? Yeah, so in this position now, I don't have anything. I'm losing. Bishop c5 is the only move that wins. Well, I guess that's just a good find, I suppose, from my opponent. Okay, okay, I was acting all smug and all-knowing like. So bishop b5 now. Like, I messed up the move order. Because I should not have taken that knight. I should have played bishop b5 check outright. And this is actually, well, better for us. I don't know why the concept just randomly went to 148. It shouldn't have, but it might have. It might have. It's really bizarre. Really bizarre. Okay, so what if... I'm sorry, this is just me being... Believe or not is indeed back. Welcome back to the stream, my friend. So if now... Takes... And now bishop b5 check, right? Yeah. So... Takes... Knight... This is just for me. Don't pay attention. This is just for me. Knight... And then here. And this doesn't work because I can take. And if takes. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, sorry. This was just for me. It's just that I just lost the game in the Smith Mora. That I was sure I knew the line, the sacrificial line, but I crucially messed up the move order. And I was checking where I went wrong and why I went wrong. I haven't played this line in a while, so I've forgotten it a little bit. Boy, it was slightly embarrassing. Alright, never mind. How are you guys doing? Feel free to be active in the chat. Tell me how your day's been, etc, etc. We are going to look at my game that I played at round 8 very soon. Soon enough. I'm playing against Walter White from India. That's a bit sus. Is there some sort of secret ending where Walter White didn't die and went to India instead? When you play this line against the Karakan Panov, you've got to be very careful what you're doing. Because this line could go very wrong for black very quickly. With this bishop g4 quasi-pin idea. Because after knight recaptures, which I do anticipate, there you go, I have a move that you would never think of in this position. Can you tell me a move that is the best move in this position, but you would never think of it? Before I play it. Any ideas? Well, we look at my game after you play us. Yes, Kyle, I answered your question before. We will look at your game. You don't have to ask. Bishop c4. Bishop c4 is probably okay. But like, bishop c4, bishop takes, this pawn is weak. Nick says have no idea. My opponent is probably thinking that I'm confused, taking a bit of time in this position. I'm not confused, but I'm just waiting for your input. So the best move in this position, the best theoretical move, the one that you would never think of. Also, why wouldn't you ever think of bishop c4? Bishop c4, like, at least is a common idea. Queen b3. Queen b3. The opponent thinks he's so smug, pinning us. And I just leaving that knight. I don't care. I literally couldn't give a toss. Taking the knight is the best move. But we have some tremendous counterplay for that ruined kingside. Yes, it takes. And now black needs to be very careful. Very careful. This could go wrong very easily. The best move by black was played. You know, this isn't very good for me. But in return, I have the bishop pair. I've got some pressure on the queen side. This king isn't very safe. And we'll see what happens. I would maybe anticipate knight takes as well. Knight doesn't take. Blocking. Okay, fair enough. D5. D5. Since you decided to abandon post, may as well play D5. Kick that knight out, and you know the king's side is getting less and less pleasant. I'm expecting knight E5, and after knight E5, the downside for us is, of course, you know, there is this pawn hanging with check. I think they should play queen C7 and castle long. You mean, or short? You mean castle long? No, that I'm not sure about, but I think you don't castle long in this position as black. I don't think you do. I am not sure. I don't think you do. We'll see. I don't think I've ever seen anyone castle in this position long. I mean, so knight d4 instead. Well, okay. Knight d4, I guess, wants to retain control over this. Alright, fair enough. Bishop b5 check. It would be good for the rook. Would not be very good for the king though. I don't fancy king's stuff. Alright, now this is where we need to be a bit accurate, because I need to recall the line. I guess you take with the queen, because there's no point taking with the knight. Both of you aren't moving the bishops. Well, I just did. So, joke's on you. I just did. So, queen blocking the check, which is fine. My queen is defended. I don't have to address it in any way. And now... I don't know. Like, we could castle, develop the bishop, something like that. Something like that. Like, if queen takes, knight takes, annoyingly, it protects the square. So, I don't have a fork. I don't have a fork. Let's see. Let me think. I was tempted to play bishop e3 and stuff, because it seems very natural. Takes. Yeah, so I wanted to play bishop e3, but the reason, you know, takes, and then knight takes and covers c7, so I don't have the fork. Can we play a game later when you are white and we are black and we choose which to play? But you can literally instead play a game with me, which is the better version of it, no? I know it's supposed to be me versus the chat, but we need a bigger chat for that. It looks like at the moment we've got just two of you guys. Maybe Nick and Believe or Not hanging in the background and Rishkan, but I don't know how engaged they are currently. So yes. Yeah, I'm thinking which one to go. Alright, so probably not the best idea, but we're gonna take. Nick is lurking. There's no problem with that at all, my friend. There's no problem at all. Just watching? No, it's good stuff. Good stuff. We can still castle. Either way. That's the true variety of choice. There is knight c4. How bad is knight c4? That's the question. I guess we will see. If I don't play. Let's put bishop there instead. If knight c4, if my opponent is like, aha, I want to attack this, I'll just castle queenside, whatever. I'll just castle queenside. We're 2 minutes down, but it's rapid, so who cares? We can, at any point, just, you know, get our speedy Sonic shoes on. Endgame, but 6 pawns each? No, I wouldn't classify it as an endgame just yet. I don't think it's an endgame. It's a matter of... It's a matter of perspective, I guess, but to me it's not an endgame yet. I played around 5 games against someone and told them about this channel. Nice, Kyle is spreading the word. Nice. Whether that works or not, the effort is the most important thing. Thank you very much. Alright, let's just play King B1, getting rid of the pain. And you could say that this is scrap, but I don't mind. I don't mind that. This is not a significant weakness for us yet. It might become in the future when we start exchanging even more pieces, but for the moment, for my damaged pawn structure, I got repaid with an activity. So okay, there doesn't make any sense to do any of that. Good question. Good question. Let's actually maybe let's do a stupid thing. Or not. How about we don't do a stupid thing? Or yeah, let's just attack the Finketsu structure. I beat someone that was so sad they tried schools, made me rematch, lost again, keep doing it, lost 4 games in a row. Probably no, I wouldn't necessarily assume they were so traumatized by losing to you or anything. Maybe they were just practicing or trying some different stuff out. Maybe. Who knows? You're streaming early. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And I am doing that because like I said yesterday, if you were listening, if you had your ears pricked up, then you would have heard that I had my tournament game in the morning today. I actually like this, so most likely I will manage to liquidate my pawn structure weakness, at least partially. But not before they keep swarming me with pawns. Okay. They can do that. Where do I want my knights? I may as well reroute it like to b3 or something. d6 is hanging at the moment. Ah, right, so that's the problem. Not only my pawn is hanging, but I also trapped my bishop, and this is shit. Yeah, now I see the problem. But I have some slight compensation. Just very slight compensation. So now this pawn is hanging. I don't like my bishop being trapped, but what can you do? I'm gonna let this pawn hang. I'm gonna let this pawn hang. The fact that they moved their pawns means for us that, well, it kind of sucks, to be honest. I'm gonna lie. It kind of sucks, but no, actually there isn't a but. It does suck. How do we recover from this? Walter White is at playing me. I've never been more humiliated. They were calling you a cheater in the chat. Yeah, probably mad. Probably mad then. I retract my statement. Yeah, this is a good bishop. This is a good bishop. I wasn't thinking clearly. How do you ever make this bishop free again? Can anyone tell me? How do you free this bishop up? Hoping for the knight to take the pawn. Not only are we a pawn down, we're practically speaking a piece down. I'm expecting like rook c8 perhaps. Yeah, rook c8 just to exchange a pair of rooks, and I don't have any other choice. I need to exchange it. So yes, playing down a piece, living the life of a king of garbage chess. How do GMs have the time to do 2-hour games? and take 20 minutes each move. I can't do more than a 10-minute game. Well, I have a joke answer and I have a serious answer. The serious answer that, well, it's either, you know, you just don't like playing chess that way. Simple as that. You know, like classical time control and serious chess isn't for everyone, and it's okay. Chess can be enjoyed in many shapes and forms. But also, maybe you have ADHD or you have some symptoms of ADHD. That is also a possibility. Welcome back to the Stream Fusions. How are you doing, my friend? Is this the Joker laugh from The Dark Knight or something? Yeah, sounds like that. Even if it wasn't intentional. So I'm sacking that bishop. At any point, I can just say screw it, and I can sacrifice something. No, it's from Clash of Clans. Okay, so I provide you with a reference to one of the best films of the 21st century, and you provide me with the reference from a subpar mobile game. Levels of pop culture education. Yeah, I'm only joking. Kind of. I like chess, but I'm impatient. Okay, so will I be quick enough to stop the pawns? So if I take all of that, does my bishop get out in time? I don't know. I'm too lazy to calculate. And the great thing about it's from Clash Royale, not Clash of Clans. Absol, look who's back. Jesus Christ, you haven't checked out my streams in such a long time. I was at some point considering, you know, finding out if you died or not. Welcome back to the stream. It's very nice to have you. It's also from Clash of Clans. Well, I don't have any expertise on that. And I'm not gonna profess to know. This is way beyond my pay grade, or should I say way below my pay grade. Heyo. You know what, I'm actually going to take this pawn. I'm not going to protect that pawn. I need to, like, this pawn is I can't do anything about, and knight will have to take it with check anyway, so I'm winning a bit of time. I need to set my bishop free so that, you know, the bishop can start affecting things over there. I need to calculate, though, what the best way of dealing with this situation is. My king is also quick enough, by the way. Sorry, I gotta go by. Already? Ah, bloody hell, you're gonna miss everything. You won't be able to play. You will miss the game analysis. Terrible. Awful. But yeah, it's nice to have you here, my friend, either way. And look at this position. Suddenly we should be winning here. Suddenly we should be winning here. Why not promote? Welcome to the stream, Michael. I'm not sure I recognize your nickname. Where do you come from, my friend? How did you find us? When could I promote? I wasn't here yesterday because I was my nana's, which is a perfectly reasonable excuse. There is nothing wrong with that. Let me do the following. So, let me think about it. I'm not sure if this is a draw or a win. I'm losing one of those pawns either way. There is nothing I can do. Even if I play this, f4, knight check, and this pawn is falling. So, let's play this. Or let's not play this. Now, let's take the pawn. Let's take the pawn. And the idea is I can go bishop f4, and this knight has a limited array of squares, at least temporarily. When your opponent played knight f8, it was check, my friends. My king was on g6. It was check. It's a bit of a, yeah. It's a bit of an oof. Yeah, this just looks like a draw, but I'm happy with the draw. So knight is going to just capture the pawn we're going to draw. I'm happy with the draw considering what terrible position we used to have. Doesn't take the pawn. Why? You're not going to win, my friend. You can't win with just a knight. Even if I time out, you're not going to get the points. Just, you know, take the pawn. What are you doing? Okay. Like, this game is a draw. Even if I lose on time, I'm not gonna lose, you know? Draw by repetition. Okay, this was weird by my opponent. Just take the bloody pawn. My internet mysteriously decided to perish exactly when I said it's from Clash Royale. Well, Fusions actually said it was from Clash of Clans also. So maybe the internet was punishing you from being incorrect at the same time. Also, not a fan of mobile games. That makes two of us. Meme Boy is back in the stream. Hello is also back in the stream. Nice, good stuff, good stuff. Very on time, guys. Very on time, because right now I am about to show you my game that I played in round 8. We're going to sit down and analyze. That was a cracking game. I promise you, it was a cracking game. So, I don't know if you watched the previous games and how many, but yesterday was a positional game. It was a very positional game. The day before yesterday was a very tactical game. Today, well, it is positional, but in a different kind of way. Very enjoyable as well. Not gonna spoil you the result, just because I'm saying the game is enjoyable doesn't mean I won, and you, of all people, should know that. So let me boot up the game. GV is also welcome back to the stream, my friend. Good to have you back. So let me boot up the game. Nice. How do I check my profile on chess.com? I mean, you just go, like, you hover your mouse over the chess.com thing, and then you do stats, for example. Or, like, if you meant stats or profile. How do I check the games I played? You can do the same thing, but you hover over play, and then you press archive. This is where your games are at. So, I am playing black. Yesterday was a very upsetting game because we were winning against an opponent 400 points higher rated than me, and the victory was within touching distance. I could almost sniff the butt, so to speak. But unfortunately, we didn't win. And this game, I am playing as black, and I'm playing against an opponent who is another one of those where they are 1100 rated, so 1100, but they are nowhere near that playing strength. They are much, much higher rated. Mohammed, welcome to the stream. I'm on 720p and the quality is trash. Well, is it for anyone else like that? It shouldn't be trash. Let me know if you guys have any technical issues. Did I come on time? Well, you came on time for the analysis, so you could say yes. I didn't know. It's also trash. You're also experiencing some technical issues? My program says it's fine. Maybe someone's just trolling. Sometimes I refresh it works, but sometimes it doesn't. I apologize. I don't know what it could be down to. Some people say it's okay, some people say it's not okay. So, I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. Welcome back to the stream, Flash. What's up? How you doing, my friend? So, e4, and I don't know if I was happy to see e4. I didn't know what my opponent was playing because there were not any games that I could find, so I was just going blind into this game. So e4, that means we're going the standard route. which is knight f6, the Alekhine, and we are going into your typical Alekhine, the most common one, the exchange variation main line. And, you know, this is all theory. Didn't expect to stream that early. That is because my tournament game was in the morning and I have some stuff to attend to later in the evening, so I needed to do that now. I got a question, what's the highest rated opponent you ever beat? Over the board or online? The Alekhine guy plays the Alekhine. That is correct. Over the board, I don't remember. I don't keep track of that necessarily. Maybe like a 1600. I've definitely beat a couple of 1600s, but I would not remember their rating precisely. So yeah. But you've got to understand that players in Poland who are 1600, who are 1100, they are way higher rated. So don't think wrong with that. But online I beat like a lot of titled players. Like I beat Ben once, like Ben Feingold, you know. But that was a bit lucky, to be honest. What happens against the old guy you played? I played against a couple of old guys this tournament. I'm not sure which one you're referring to. So, Bishop d3. Bishop d3 is a decent move. I find it not as difficult to play against. If you ever face the Alekhine yourselves, and if you see this position from White's perspective, you don't want to play Bishop d3 necessarily. Like, Bishop probably belongs on e2 in the Alekhine, because if Bishop is on d3, it can get very easily harassed by the knights, right? The 70-year-old who was low rated. Who was that? Which game? Which round was it? I think we drew. I think you're talking about round 3. I think you're talking about round 3. We drew. Again, he wasn't as like what his rating suggests. Yes, Fusions, send that game in the Discord, and yes, I will take a look. I see that you have sent it already. So, Bishop d3, like I explained, this perhaps this move is fine, but I prefer Bishop e2. Well, I prefer Bishop d3 against myself. But yeah. So, I played Bishop g4, like Kyle was suggesting, h3, and this is very important. In this specific Alekhine position, you immediately take. You immediately take the knight and you concede the bishop pair, right? And the reason for that is very simple. You may think, wait a minute, why did you just, you know, do all of this? And, you know, you develop your opponent's queen for free. Because after knight c6, we can start seeing the glimpses of my idea. I'm going to pressure all of this with my knights. I don't need that light squared bishop in a lot of positions, as you will see. d5, I think, is very premature. I was happy to see d5. Again, you guys wouldn't necessarily know, but when you're playing against the Alekhine, you don't want to rush with d5. d5 just immediately relieves the pressure, and it provides my knights with some great squares, namely e5 and c5, both of which I will make use of. So d5 and of course knight e5, because it was enabled. It's kind of a fork, but not really a fork. Welcome, Sebastian, to the stream. Welcome back. So, yes. And you've got to be slightly careful here, of course. I'm attacking all of this, but don't forget that I am also hitting this pawn with both of my knights now. That means that pawn needs extra defense, so double defense, queen e2, which is fine. And I'm not in a rush to do anything, really. I castle. This bishop I can capture at any point, because this bishop cannot leave this square, otherwise the pawn is falling, right? you guys are discussing the mysterious outside. Interesting. And here comes the first inaccuracy, major, I wouldn't call it a mistake, but this made my position at least interesting. This is not a move I think I have seen. I'm not sure. Maybe I have seen it, I just don't remember. But this move confused me, but made me at the same time happy. Is this the game you played before? We're looking at the game that I played today in a tournament, round 8. I'm playing as black, we played a yellow kind. So all of this now is more or less theory, right? And if I switch on the engine now, it will say that the position is equal, which is good for me. Because every time you can equalize with black, it's good. And can you guess? Just look at this position, people, and think of some of the standard moves that you would consider, right? Think of some of the standard moves that you might consider as white in this position. And then think of a move that's none of those moves. Think of a move that is like offbeat. And my opponent played that, and it was an inaccuracy. It was interesting. It made me think. I was like, oh, does that work? But it doesn't necessarily work. Can you guess Can you guess which move my opponent played? Like I said, it's slightly offbeat. Something that I don't think I've ever seen before. When I saw that, I was on the one hand happy, because I thought it wasn't as strong, but at the same time I was like, that's interesting. Alright. So think of the moves that white would play here, usually, or could play, and eliminate them. Think of something more unusual. G3. Bishop F4. Queen F3 or Queen G4 kind of hangs the queen. Can I tell you about how many points of materials at the end that you want to experience it? Fusions, I don't want to... I don't like fusions. I have seen everything, my friend. I don't want to be mildly offensive, but don't think that this game will broaden my horizon. It's gonna be definitely just a like typical chaotic 500 game, which we will all enjoy. Definitely. So yes. We've got some other suggestions. Bishop F4, Bishop H7, Queen A. Bishop takes H7. Alright, so I actually see the correct option in the chat proposed by Hello. Knight A3. Knight A3. Again, something that I have not seen, I don't think. And this move isn't bad. It's slightly inaccurate, it makes my job a bit easier. And what is the point of Knight A3? Can anyone tell me? It's quite obvious, but I want you guys to verbalize it. What is the point of Knight A3? I do have finger shoes. What? Why not Knight C3? Knight on A3 does something that Knight on C3 doesn't. Protects pawn. Muhammad, the knight can go to b5 from c3 also, so it kind of invalidates your point. But yeah, protects pawn is correct. Knight on a3 overprotects that pawn, and I'm like, okay, I don't think that I was going to take that pawn anyway or threaten it in any meaningful way, but okay. So bishop f6, a very typical Alekhine move. This bishop maneuver so that we're threatening everything on this diagonal. My opponent castles, I play rook e8, also very standard move, makes a lot of sense. For now, these are all like normal, sensible moves, apart from knight a3, which is actually better than it looks. And yeah, there is also potential knight c2. And my opponent plays queen c2. Why don't you take the bishop? Because I am in no rush to take the bishop. You could argue that after castles I should take it now. But I don't know. I didn't want that. I played to develop. At no point could this bishop go anywhere. Like right now, it cannot save itself either, because this threat needs to be addressed. So at no point, like, I was always timing it, right? So I was always leaving the possibility of taking the bishop. Every single move, white basically could not retreat the bishop and save it. And only when the opportunity could have presented itself, for example, queen c2, now is a good time, is my game after this game. My friend Fusions, the way it works is that we analyze the tournament game, then we play everyone, and then if we have time, we're looking at games. We also need to look at Kyle's game because he really requested it for a couple of days. I'm not sure we can do your game today even. I am not sure. I cannot promise. You need to understand we have quite a schedule. But if we don't do it today, then we'll do it at a later date, which is, someday. Tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, whenever we have time. So, yeah, queen c2, and now you take the bishop. Because, as we can see, white hasn't achieved anything, if you think about it, right? So basically, white moved this queen to c2, I took the bishop, white moved this queen again. So basically, technically, white wasted a tempo. The queen just spent a bunch of time doing nothing. And it will spend even more time doing nothing very, very soon. What do you think is a good idea in this position now? It has to do with the knight being on a3. Now, before you answer this, think of this as well, people. When a move is played that you don't know or you haven't seen, you need to, for yourself, identify what is different, how this position is different from the position that you typically see. And when I saw the knight on a3, I was thinking, how is this different to knight c3? And let's do that. I mean, you do that. What square does knight on a3 not control that knight on c3 would? Which one? And which is relevant to the position as it stands right now. Knight on c3 controls that square, knight on a3 does not. e4, well, I can't do much with e4 right now, even though you're correct, Mohammed. e4 I cannot do anything about. Well, I can go and hang my rook on e4, if that makes sense. No, I'm asking you to find a square like e4, but the one that is actionable right now. b5. b5 is under control of a pawn, and the knight controls it anyway. Do I need to ask the question again? e4 is technically correct, like knight on a3 does not control e4 and knight on c3 does. But this is useless to me. Like I said, I could go hang a rook on e4 if you want. What square is like e4, but what square is actionable right now? Just it's not hard to find. What square is actionable right now that knight a3 does not control, but knight on c3 does? Why do you say d4? Knight on c3 doesn't control d4 either. People, what's wrong with you? Rudra, welcome to the stream, my friend. How are you doing? Where did you come from? How did you find us? e2. e2 is also extremely unactionable. I can go hang my rook on e2. Guys, you're not thinking straight. You're literally naming every answer except for the correct one. I'm good, man. How are you? Thank you very much. Thank you very much for asking. So you're in the recommendation bar, and you are most welcome to join the community. We are on day 13 of our stream-a-thon. We stream every day until we get to 50 concurrent viewers. And right now we're analyzing, having a bit of a mini interactive lesson with the chat. We are analyzing my tournament game that I played in the FIDE rated classical tournament round 8 today. So this is, and after that we're going to play viewers in the chat. This is how we usually do it. What country do you come from, my friend? By the way, my elo is, well, different depending on how you assess it, like what time of format, what classical. It's A4. Finally, Jesus Christ, was it so difficult to find? Knight on C3 controls A4, knight on A3 doesn't, and A4 is very much actionable. Is it over the board game? Yes, it is. So knight A4 with the very obvious threat, right? Do you want to get to join the coconut family? I love coconuts. I think coconuts don't deserve. They deserve more love than they do. So I'm attacking this pawn, right? The pawn is pinned, otherwise I'm just taking the rook, so somehow it needs to be addressed. I come from Sweden, right? Nice. So is it Stockholm, Malmö, lived there? Nice, good stuff. And my opponent played a second inaccuracy, which I was happy to see. They defended the pawn with queen b3. Which is like just about okay, I guess, but it's inaccurate. What is the problem with queen b3? It's very apparent. My opponent is thinking, I'm attacking the knights, I'm attacking this, I'm defending the pawn. What is the problem with queen b3 though? What is it? Rook sneaks to 7th. If rook sneaks to 7th, don't forget I'm losing my knight. b6. b6, I'm losing my knight. Hello? Hello? You probably forget about... Can you give some context on the match? Absolutely. So... I'm playing in a tournament. This is round 8. This is the second to last round. Tomorrow is the last round. And I am playing as black against an opponent who is lower rated than me, so it's a must-win game. But everyone is very low rated and underrated in Poland. And everyone is very strong, so this game is not a joke. Knight c5. Yes, absolutely. Knight c5. Knight c5 does everything. Knight c5 does everything. It attacks the queen, defends the pawn. And if you think about it for a second, just think about it. White just lost another tempo, right? So if white defends this pawn in some other way, let's say queen c2 attacks my knight, yeah? Then I can go to c5 with the knight, and the attack on the queen does not happen. So the queen doesn't have to move again. Right? But with the queen on b3, it has to. And that means this is literally a what? This is going to be a 4th queen move in a row. 4th queen in... Like, go back. Check it out. Queen move number 1, queen move number 2, queen move number 3, and this is going to be queen move number 4, queen f3. When you have to move your queen 4 times in a row in a middle game like this, and I only improve my position, and you've got to agree that the knight on c5 is better than the one on b6, you know, this can only be good for me, right? You're winning now. I'm not winning. I may be like, this is equal slightly better for black, but I have achieved a lot of things actually. So I'm very happy. How well are you doing in this tournament? Right now, I have 5 points out of 8. 5 points out of 8. And tomorrow is the last round. And now, there are different moves that you can play, but I played, you know, the best move, which is nice. I played queen e7. I played queen e7 with a very simple idea. I want to make my queen maybe, you know, can go to a5, has some effect on the light squares there, but most importantly, I want to connect my rooks and I want to maybe double them up. What you need to understand also is that white's rooks are kind of shit. This bishop is forced to stay and defend that pawn, and whilst the bishop is there, these rooks can't connect. And, conclusion arising from this, as long as rooks don't connect, I can try and double up and just eat this file for myself. White does not have time to try and contest it. So, rook b1, which is the best move, just getting away from that annoying diagonal and preparing b4, and I just play rook e7. I'm, you know, enacting my plan, doubling up the rooks. b4, which is a decent move, nothing wrong with that. My knight goes to e4. And now, everyone, very important thing. If this knight was on a3, sorry, if this knight was on c3, not on a3, this position obviously would not have happened for two reasons. First of all, I would have not been able to play knight a4 a couple of moves before. And second of all, I would not be able to play this move because the knight on c3 would, you know, obviously take my knight, right? So, ultimately, in the end, the move which was knight a3 did nothing good, in my opinion. It was overprotecting that pawn, which I never targeted, so never affected things. And the fact that knight was not on c3 let me do like two different things at different points in the game, right? So this only makes the knight a3 decision all the more questionable. Do you understand? Let me know in the chat if you guys understand my idea. So knight e4, knight goes to c2, finally goes away from that dreaded square. Roger understands. Nice, good stuff. Finally, knight getting developed, and I'm just completing the development. Look, if you are black, you need to be very happy with this position after 20 moves. You have done a perfect job of equalizing the position. You could argue, like, you have better development as black, but you guys fail to sometimes remember that when you play black, an edge in development only means that you are equalizing. Just because you are better developed than white doesn't mean that you're better or winning. It usually means that you're just about equalizing because white has a tempo more. White moves first. So you could argue that I'm better developed. Yes, I've got rooks here, like my knights are centralized and that's all. But if you look at the engine, this position is only just about maybe slightly better for black. It says minus 0.4, which is virtually nothing, right? What is your score in a tournament right now? Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the stream, Kirby. Welcome back. 5 out of 8 is correct. So, rook b3, which is a decent move. A bit of a rook lift, right? A bit of a rook lift, which is a good move. I don't have any questions to that. And then I play knight g5. Knight g5, very simple idea. The knight on e4 is looking sexy. Like, you look at this knight, you're like, oh, that's the best knight ever. But in reality, what does it do? What does this knight do? It doesn't do much. It looks nice, and that's it. Just glamorous, yeah? It has all the, efficiency of Kim Kardashian. Glamorous but useless. So I need to move it away. I need to move it to g5 so that my rooks are open, right? And now it's nice. And I figured if bishop takes knight, bishop takes back, I don't mind that. Gaurav, welcome back to the stream. I'm doing fine, thank you for asking. How are you doing, my friend? And here comes one of the critical points in a game. So queen g3. Queen g3. Obviously, the queen needed to move away. And right now, my knight is doubly attacked. So my knight is technically hanging. And I couldn't decide forever what to do here. Because if I move back with my knight, probably causes repetition. And then I would be like having to just think of another plan. Also, I need to remind you people, not remind you, but let you know, throughout the game, because my opponent is much lower rated, and my opponent was like visually really stressed out. Like he was like literally twitchy and shaky and stuff, and he kept overhitting the clock. You know, if you ever played OTP tournaments, there are different types of people on the board. Like there are people, and it depends, like with regards to hitting the clock, some people just lightly, gently press the clock. Some people are just like this. And he was one of those people. Usually kids do that because they are nervous or overexcited or something. Yeah. That is the perfect time of your stream. Will you continue the same time tomorrow? I don't know, my friend. Yes, we are analyzing my round 8 game. So I couldn't decide. So my opponent, because he was much lower rated and because he was stressed out, he kept offering me draws. Throughout the game, he probably offered me a draw 5 times or something. And like by the 5th time, it was getting slightly annoying. It's not like in real life you can press don't show draw offers like you could at chess.com. He just kept offering me draws. So yes. And I couldn't decide what to do here. Like knight e4 I didn't like because I thought like we're just gonna repeat and then I need to like do something else. Rudra was asking, would you consider attacking e1 with the rook? Well, e1 kind of hangs my rook. So that's the end of that. But the direction of the idea by Rudra is kind of correct. I probably would like to do a rook lift. Conga just won 2 rapid games and won both. Played 2 rapid games and won both. Nice, I'm very happy. Although I think you could have benefited more from watching the analysis. Queen f5. Queen f5 I did also consider, but I ruled it out as unpalatable. Because it literally invites knights on e3 and it's nothing massive. Like I can go to g6, but h4, and then I need to move my, like, you also forget that I need to win. I need to win. If I draw this guy, I'm losing a lot of points. I'm losing a lot of rating points. So this line, which I did look at, so with h4, knight has to move away. I don't want to bloody trade queens with no apparent advantage to me. So I don't want to do that. That's why I don't want to do repetition. I don't want to do this where we trade queens. I want to find another solution. And the only solution that is active that I could find was rook e2, right? So you take me, I take you, and that's it. But when you do these kinds of things, you need to make sure that they bloody work, right? You need to make sure that they work when you go for these tactical things, because one silly mistake, one overlooked move, and you can just, you know, suck a massive D, right? Because, for example, what can go wrong in this situation with rook e2? For example, bishop takes, rook takes, and then bishop takes, and you're like, oh, fudge, right? So that's one thing that you mustn't forget. Another thing, what if takes, so takes bishop then, and what if queen doesn't take instantly but knight g4 instead? Welcome to the stream, small Oreo. Yes, nice, good stuff, good stuff. That you did, that you did. Does knight d4 work? That you also need to look at. And it doesn't. It doesn't because you have rook e4, for example. And the threat is all the same. And now the rook cannot be harassed any longer. Actually, there is a very funny line that I would never have considered. And it's not as good as rook e4, but I think you guys will like it. Actually, I'm going to ask you. Find another way. Find another way, apart from rook e4, to not drop a piece in this position. There are two possible ways. One I just showed you with rook e4, right? To not drop a piece. What about one other move? Rook e5. Rook e5 has a very big problem of... at least this is a problem. Bishop h4 is correct. Kobe is correct. I don't know if Kobe is looking at it with an engine or analyzing by himself. Bishop h4. Bishop h4, because now after queen takes we can do this. And we win the piece back. Nice, right? That's a simple tactic, to be honest. It's relatively simple, yeah. But yeah. Hi, welcome back, Swordvale. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing, my friend? But I never even looked at bishop h4. I just saw rook e4, and that was good enough for me. Also, like, rook e4 is marginally better than bishop h4, although bishop h4 does look cool. So yeah. So rook e4. And basically this is what happened in the game. This is why I'm stressing this. I think bishop h4 is better. Now rook e4 is marginally better, the engine says. And now, yeah, there is no way for me to drop a piece. And queen takes, rook takes. Bishop h4 hangs bishop. Somebody tell Mohammed that he needs to wake up and or follow the stream and or drink some coffee or something. Bishop h4 hangs the bishop. But after queen takes, what about this, Mohammed? You consider that? So, yes. Alright. So, queen takes, rook takes. And looking at this position, just look at it. What do you think is the engine evaluation is? If you're looking at the engine, don't. What do you think is the engine evaluation? Keep in mind the material is equal, right? The material is equal. White has more space, but the pawns, you could argue, are overextended. And I've got definitively better rooks. Hello says minus 0.5. Probably minus 1 because pawn's weak. Minus 0.8. So you guys are all definitely sure that black stands better here. Like minus 0.2. Minus 2. 0.5. Mate insane. Nice. I wish. I wish. Yeah, so yeah, thank you for the input, people. Looks equal. So the engine is suggesting at depth 28, as I am looking right now, is that it's minus 0.6, right? Similar activity by both sides. I disagree, Small, respectfully. I disagree. I have much superior rooks, and these pawns are rather weak. Can you review my game, please, after this? My friend Flash, we don't have time for it today. We already have a game by Kyle to look at. And don't forget, I need to play you as well, so yeah. Do I get anything for being the closest? You get an exclam seal of approval as the biggest Giga Chat in your chair. Is that enough? So, rook c1, defending the pawn. And I'm going for activity. I'm going rook e2. A move that is, you know, very natural. Not the best, to be honest, but very natural. tomorrow or a next stream, at some point. All you need to do is to, you know, suggest the game, and we will take a look at it. That is the best reward anyone could ever get, probably. So, Rook E2, and don't forget that I'm always obviously need to be aware of back rank issues, whilst I don't have Luft. Rook G3. Rook G3, and it's interesting. Over the board, I thought that this move was not the best. I thought that Rook G3 just creates a threat that is nothing. But I am surprised to find out that this is the best move that White has. I honestly don't know why. I am surprised and I don't have an explanation, so that just beats me. But the question, I will get to your question, Kirby, in a second. The question I have for you is that, okay, so you're obviously faced with the threats of mate and 1, which you better see, otherwise you'll be very disappointed. The question is, which pawn would you like to push to handle this threat? Would you like to do f6 or would you like to do g6? Rudra says f6, g6, g6, f6, f6. Well, we've got polarizing opinions in the chat, that's for sure. f6. So more people voting f6, eh? And what's your reasoning for both sides? What's your reasoning? Can you give me like some brief reasoning for your choices? Why f6, why g6? Doesn't need to be like encyclopedia, but f6 sacks the checkmate. f6 doesn't hang checkmate because the purpose of f6 is queen defense g7 now, so it's okay. Blocks attack well, prevents mates. Queen protects, f6 might create a hole in e6. Yeah, Gaurav, that's a good point. That's what I was... g6, queen is not stuck. My wondering evil brain can't see that. So when thinking about which pawn to push, and I did consider both, you should consider both. The reasoning I had against f6 is that I lose control over e6 forever. I lose control over e6 forever, and it is basically a field day for any rook or queen that now may wants to get in. And I was not sure if it was like detrimental. Opponent could never get e6 though. Never say never. Never say never. Never say never, my friend. It could be, like, you never know. Yesterday, Kobe, you should have watched... Yes, did you watch yesterday's stream or what? Last game, when my opponent played bloody bishop h3, I also thought, what a crap move bishop h3 is. The bishop on h3 will never do anything. Fast forward 15 moves, I lost because of bishop h3. How do you lose control when you have a queen and a rook there? Now, no. But you need to understand the concepts of now and forever. Like, now, no, I agree. But who knows what happens in 10 moves, 15 moves time? I can't tell. How can you lose when you have a rook? Well, my rook isn't going to permanently stay on e2. Like, do you guys forget the game is very dynamic, pieces move around. So this is just a risk that I could not bear, and I played g6 instead. And the engine says g6 is better than f6. f6 isn't horrible, but g6 is slightly better. And I think most likely because, yeah, we're not creating a hole on e6. And, you know, it's fine by me. G6 makes a lot of sense. Yeah, well, hopefully. So, rook f3, a move that I did not understand. A move that I did not understand, but okay. There is a queen. I agree, Rodra. I agree. You have a very good point. Very good point. But I'm about to show why I didn't care really about it in a second. So rook f3. And taking is ill-advised. Taking is ill-advised because rook e1, and this rook is doing nothing, and the position from minus 0.5 becomes plus 5. And you lose. You lose because now this is too much. This is too much. And my brilliant rooks are now just turned into rooks that do absolutely nothing. So taking is ill-advised. So, because I want to take that pawn, but I can't do it right now, I figured, well, I'm going to do that, but in a different way. I move later. I played queen e8. I played queen e8, so maybe I can take this without any repercussions, if I am allowed. But my opponent now played a3, and I was like, a3, that is like really weak. I was surprised by a3. And this is where I had my longest think of the game. Because from this moment, because a3 was played, and not some other moves that would have prevented that, I have a very easy liquidation to an endgame. And it's all about me trying to figure out whether this endgame that I'm about to liquidate to is good or not. The easy path to liquidation to an endgame is the following. After a3, just do a check. Just do a check. And rook takes, queen takes with check, the only legal move, and then you check here. And you fork the king and queen. So taking the queen is pretty much forced. The idea of blocking with the queen like so is ill-advised, because, you know, you take with the queen and, yeah, simplification, like what's it? You take with the queen, and now, you know, whichever piece takes, the rook starts yummy, 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 right? So you must take the queen. You cannot block. Takes. And this was the key point. Before liquidating, I needed to make sure, well, I cannot make sure, but I need to figure out whether this game is good for me or not. This position, this endgame. Because the material is equal, right? The material is equal. And we have 4-3 majority on the king side, and there is 4-3 majority on the queen side. And this is where I pose this question to you. What is your opinion? Is this endgame drawn? Because, you know, when you have this situation, it can be easily a draw. Or is it better for either side? I'm gonna go for like 5 minutes and come back. Alright, well, you're probably missing the most interesting part, but yeah. So, when you see this position, right, do you make the decision to simplify from here? Like, do you play rook e1 check and you go through all that charade to get to this position? Does it look good to you? And if you can explain why, then, you know, try to briefly explain why. Because equal material, both sides have their majorities on either side. So what do you say? You can take a bit of time to think. I can sip my imaginary coffee. I haven't made coffee for my stream tonight. That was the real blunder. Lecky, welcome to the stream, my friend. That is maybe a slightly weird time, but that's because I had a game in the morning today. Black is slightly better. Looks like a draw. Still holdable. Might be better for black. Well, white does not have to lose a pawn. It's white to move, so white can protect the pawn with rook c3. If white so wishes, and I think it's probably the best thing to do. And he blundered his coffee. Yes, that I did. All right. Okay. So let me ask you another question, since you guys, some of you cannot decide. If you can't necessarily say if it's a draw or a win for either side, could you please maybe give me an engine evaluation again? What you think is going on here? What do you think the engine says about this position? If he goes protecting the pawn, we can bring the king. But yeah, well, white can also start bringing the king. What do you think is the engine saying? Minus 0.8. Minus 0.2. Gotta go with Oreo, not gonna lie. So like minus 0.8-ish, right? Okay. Can I ask you one question? You can ask me any questions. And more than one. Alright, so I guess it's time to spill the beans. This endgame is minus 1.75 at depth 33. Actually, minus 2. Well, you did it. You did it too late, small Oreo. Okay, any questions? What is your credit card info? You learned chess by yourself by hiring coaches. Never had a coach. Never had a coach flash. Invested. I don't know. How can I quantify how much I've invested? Quite a bit. Maybe not too much, but over a couple of years. Never had any like coaches. Never been a club member. I'm just one guy. So yeah, it is winning for black for a very simple reason. I'm about to show you why. And this is. Well, it's not an endgame masterclass, but this is how you win endgames, right? So rook c3, protecting that pawn. And what you need to immediately understand, as soon as rook c3 is played, is that this queenside advantage is useless. It's trash. It's immovable. It's absolutely immovable. Before you do anything else as black, you need to go through a couple of scenarios in your head, if you have time. And of course, you have time in a classical game. So this pawn is immovable for obvious reasons. This pawn is immovable because I take the d pawn if the c pawn moves. And if these pawns start moving, I can block things up, right? I can block things up, and this becomes, even more immovable at some point. All right, so I don't know if we have. Let's imagine that I don't know. I'm just going to be making random moves for black. And we try to devise a situation where white just starts pushing pawns forward, for example. Don't pay attention to what black does. We're trying to make our advantage count, so to speak. Remember that this is immovable and this is immovable. And at some point, when some pawn does something, like here, let's just, for example, take, and then I can take or play a6, and these pawns are still as immovable as heck, right? So yeah, time spent in game, Radra probably means, so that will be quite interesting. Yeah. So what you need to understand, I hope you guys see my point now. You need to register in your head that this majority is useless as long as my rook stays there and defends everything. That's why the only majority that matters is this one. Sacrificing d5 and none of that works. None of that works, I'm afraid. And, you know, that's why I play f5 and I try and push and win. We've got more space, so let's go. KS, welcome back to the stream. I haven't talked to you in a couple of days, actually. So, King G3, King F7, King F3, and this is where I have a philosophical question for you, right? This is where I have a philosophical question for you. I am telling you that King F6 and King E7 are both good. Which one do you play? They're both good. They're both equally good. You cannot go wrong with either. Which one do you play? King F6 or King E7? KS plays King E7. Congo also plays King E7. King F6, Flash plays. King F6, King E7. King F6, King F6. Alright, so, like I said, they're both good. They're both good. Nothing wrong with either. Absolutely nothing. My idea was, since I have identified that this is complete garbage and it cannot move, I'm not really having to, you know, keep my king around that area, so I'm going to just do f6, right? I am going to do King f6, and you know, it's completely fine. King e7 is also fine. And next couple of moves, I am just pushing my stuff forward, but you've got to be precise. You've got to be precise, people. Like which ones to push, etc., etc. For example, you know, if you play a move like h6 right now, it's still okay, but it's losing a bit of the advantage. E4 check is also not the most optimal. You play g5. You play g5 because you want to create basically a wall of pawns, right? h5 is ill-advised because now after h4, black is still better, but this pawn majority is now a bit more difficult to move, right? You can break through here, like move takes, right? But I want to keep my pawns together. I don't want to create a situation where I have an isolated pawn, right? I want to keep them together. I don't want to disconnect them. Right, so I play g5, king e2, and then I play h5, and this is looking menacing. And like I said, did whites move anything on this side ever or yet? No. Can they do that? No. Is this classical game? Yes, it is. So f3, also trying to create a wall. I play the breakthrough, which is g4. And yeah, so before you play this break, and it's not actually the most accurate break as far as the engine tell me, but I thought it was okay, and is okay. You need to consider all the possibilities. Like you always, this is what's the biggest problem about endgames. People are lazy to calculate, they just assume that everything is correct. Do you get a bonus time after a certain number of moves? No added time after 40 moves or anything like that. My dad almost finished the Worm song. We got him talking about the era of the Worm. What? Somebody needs to call an ambulance on Kyle. Is Kyle okay? So g4, you need to calculate like every pawn advance, every recapture, like capture and recapture, etc, etc, etc. So like I devoted a lot of time to that. So yeah, Kirby has to go. It's a shame, my friend. You're just about to see the end of the game. And my opponent played h4, which I was happy about. And h4 seems like it blocks things up a little bit, so it's harder for me to move. But there is one move that is just the killer move. There are lots of good moves, lots of winning moves, but there is one that is just killer. Which one is that? E4? E4 I'm not particularly a big fan of. E4 says black is okay, but questionably okay. So that you know, the best move in this position is -3, and E4 makes it so the position becomes -0.5. Yeah, so the killer move is F4. Because this pawn is now hanging, so it needs to be dealt with. Yeah, F4, and if we imagine a situation where takes, for example, I'm not saying that is going to happen. Just for example, I have two connected passes, and this is just too much, right? This is why you always need to be careful about pawns and shit. So F4. And yeah, it's not looking very good. Rook C1. But yeah. Rook C1. And here I have another question. No, actually, I don't yet. I don't yet have a question. Here, the engine says I can take either pawn and be incredibly winning. But I felt like I don't need to do that. I moved my king up. I played king f5, and it is still okay. It is still okay. It's fine. It's not the best, but it's okay. I have all the time in the world. Can a king stop two connected passes? It can stop them, but it cannot do anything else. Bro, why not capturing the free pawn? Because I can do that at any rate, right? Like, okay, I'm gonna take, but I didn't want, like, I don't know. I wanted two connected passes, not one. So I played king there. Patience. It's called patience, you know? It's a skill. Alright, and this is where my opponent basically has got no moves. Apart from capturing either or both pawns. My opponent actually played b5. And b5 just does nothing. It prepares nothing, like it's completely irrelevant. Like it does nothing. So this is where I took with check, and then king takes back, and I get my two connected passed pawns after e4 check and f3 check, and now I'm happy. And this is why I didn't take initially, and I took only after king f5. I moved my king up and I got my passes. I'm happy, right? And now I play... You think this is going to be so simple and easy with me. Yesterday I was winning against the 1900, yet I lost because I missed the trick. Fusion's gonna go. Yeah, but we'll take a look at your game at some point. And we will see all the 6 great moves for what they are. Wayland to United advanced talks. They've been advanced for like a month. So that's... That was a crazy game yesterday, says Nick. It was, Nick. Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy the analysis? So this position is now -7. -7. So yeah, whatever. This position is -7. And I played King G4. Which is a slightly sus move. It's okay. I'm still winning. Don't worry. Don't sweat it, people. I'm still winning. It's just that I have a perfectly good reason. And I have a perfectly good reason for King G4. You need to hear me out. So the problem with King G4 that I saw and I didn't think was a problem was the following: King E3, and it kind of forks my rook and pawn. So I have to do this check and lose that passer. And I thought after rook takes, I'm actually simplifying the position in a way that benefits me. because now I lured the king deeper into the board, and now I've got a force field, right? Now I've got a force field, I'm going to take this pawn and I'm going to promote, and it's just simplifying the position. And I'm still winning, don't get me wrong, but the engine says I could be in slight trouble after like KS puts at c5. Now this majority is movable and I'm still winning, but you just got to be a bit more careful. Like, I created a bit of unnecessary problems for myself. And this would have required precision, right? For example, when I talk about precision, I mean a move like king takes g3 is losing on the spot. Not losing, but losing the victory after d6. And now you're like, oh shit. Right, yeah. So my rook can't help. My king is like 60 feet deep in shit. And this is now happening. So after takes, now they have a passer, which is extremely close. So you got to be very careful. Always. It can very easily go wrong if you don't pay attention. But my opponents didn't do that, luckily. Didn't complicate the position. Just basically played a very defeatist move, which just, you know, makes it very easy for me. Rook g1. And rook g1 does nothing. It defends the pawn, okay, but I just play f2, and, you know, it doesn't defend the pawn anymore. Like, if you play rook d2, I promote. So, yeah. It's one of those. So you have to keep the rook on the first rank, but not on g1, because obviously the rook is hanging on g1. So rook d1, and here I just take the pawn, I move my king up, and you know this is irrelevant. And then I promote, and yeah, this is basically the end. The good thing about it also is that I could have been in slight trouble in some other positions, but luckily I can always play b6, and this pawn is defended by my rook. So what I'm talking about is this. So king c7, it looks like, you know, king might be threatening some of my pawns and maybe creating a passer for himself, but I'm just like b6 and nothing can move, and this is defended. So that's nice. The rook is very helpful. And yeah, that just king b7, king g2, king c6, king g3, I'm going to take that pawn, I'm going to promote and win, and this is when my opponent resigned. This is when they resigned. So yes, that was a game of interesting positions. Knight a3 was a interesting move, which didn't work out for my opponent in the end. And yeah. Have you had somebody... Was your opponent a kid? Define kid. He was a teenager, so... Yes, no, I don't know. He was a teenager. Have you had somebody troll promotion? What is troll promotion? Like under promotion? Like promoting to a rook or a knight? Want to have a game? Yeah, we will start playing viewers very soon. Yeah, guys, so for that analysis of the game, I think I deserve a like from literally everyone who is present in the chat right now. Please, I do hope it was a nice interactive session. For one. And yeah, don't forget that we still are trying to get to 50 viewers. We still have our record on 17. And we would like to beat it at some point in the future. That's why, please, like the stream, sub if you haven't already. Notification bell, very important, so you don't miss the next ones. And yeah, tell your friends as well. Bring your friends around, because now we are going to do what the best communities do. We're going to engage, we're going to play each other, I'm going to play you guys. And, you know, the queue is already forming. Mohammed, you would be second to Kyle, because Kyle literally, you know, reserved a spot first, like in the first minutes of the stream. So basically the queue looks like this as it stands. So I've got Kyle, then I've got Mohammed, then I've got KS, and then Nick, and then Conga, and then Leke. Who is by 9163? Please challenge me to an unrated game. Yes. Just, you know, replace the challenge. In the meantime, that's you, hello. Yeah, please unrated, okay? And, you know, the time control can stay. But yeah, guys, just 1 minute before I start playing, everyone, what did you make of that game? What did you make of that game? The ones who saw the entirety of the game, what did you think of that? Was there any specific move that you liked or found interesting, or any decision by either player? I'm not collecting plaudits for my performance or anything. I'm asking whether you liked anything specifically about the game, found it curious. And you know, if you have any questions, also ask me. If not, then we're going to proceed with the games. But yeah, in the end, the decision of knight a3 early on, it's just, yeah, slightly better middle game to enter a superior endgame. Yeah, like the knight a3 was a key point, because it enabled me to do things that I would not otherwise be able to do. And Leke and Nick knows how to get in the queues, people. They know, trust me. So yeah, I appreciate you helping them out, but they know, Conga, they know. My dad makes chicken almost every day. Chicken! Guys, I have an amazing poll for you. I have an amazing poll. How many options can I have? I only have 3. What the hell? 4? Bloody hell. Okay, so I have a poll for you. Just give me a second. And what would I want to? Good question. All right, let's leave it like that for a while. Ask. So yes, choose your favorite meat, or if you don't eat meat, go for the vegan option. I don't think there'll be many vegans in here, if any, but just in case, you gotta have the vegan option, right? So chicken is the best. Yeah, and the key point of the game is obviously deciding whether to simplify or not. Right? Whether you simplify or not. Actually, my opponent, after the game, when we were done, told me that he saw all of that, and he concluded that this endgame is drawn for him. Like, he also saw that simplification, he said, and he thought it was fine for him. And I'm like, well, I guess you were wrong. So yeah. Anyway, let's get into it. I can't accept this challenge at this moment. What? Let's try again. Could you please resend me a challenge, Kyle? For some reason it declined. There you go. Lag? Am I lagging? I shouldn't be. I hope I'm not lagging, guys. Let me know if there are some issues. Let me know if there are some issues. So I can basically transpose into a Caro-Kann by taking this pawn, and I can not do that. It's fine for me. Might have been me. Yeah, probably you, because I have not been picking up on any like red flags or anything. I can take, for example, so those of you who saw the stream yesterday, people, are you gonna complain again about this bishop, or are you gonna shush and wait for it to become good and capture somebody's queen again? You have a choice. To cry or not to cry. Hey, wait a minute, that's illegal. That's illegal. I don't even have like a check to escape this. Well, I guess we're gonna have to make do. Your queen do be bad. Not as bad as your BO. Sorry. Alright. Castle's king size. Well, let's go. That's probably a very unsound thing to do, but come on. What else am I supposed to do? What else am I supposed to do? I also don't want to keep my king here necessarily. Like this sounds very not great. Well, I'm just gonna roll with it. Let's go. Blocks my pawn. Ah, that's my attack stop. Except for one thing. I'm gonna be back with a vengeance. Honga says wait. Wait for what? You know, that's what my mom said once when she abandoned me in a queue at a supermarket and she never came back. And the worst thing about it is not because I spent the entirety of my childhood without a mum. What's worse is that I had to spend all of my pocket money and sell myself into slavery for 2 weeks to that supermarket because I couldn't pay for all the stuff that she bought. Goofy King. King is a goofy, I say 7 goofies out of 10. Seven goofies out of 10. That's how I would rate the goofiness of my king. But I am going to just block this stuff. Villain backstory. I'm no villain. I'm just a guy. I am just a guy. Like many villains. I am just a guy. Still go e5 and bishop h3. I don't have anything. Konga, I don't have anything. Some people come up to me and say, do you even have self-respect? And I'm like, no, I have none of that as well. I have nothing. Not anymore. Yeah, probably. Looks like you bomb clouded. No! That's horrible. Takes my knight. Stop taking my pieces. Die a hero or waits to see yourself a villain. To see yourself become a villain, right? Yeah, Dark Knight. Nice. Somebody is actually quoting good films. Like, I thought that somebody made a reference to Dark Knight today. I don't remember who that was. I don't remember. But in actuality, they were making reference to Clash of Clans. And I'm like, The Dark Knight, Clash of Clans. Come on. Come on. Be better with your references and such. Otherwise, I'll be tremendously disappointed. I don't know. Do I get mated if I just stay here and allow this check? I don't know. Beep boop bloop. Queen check. No. But why? Who needs self-care or respect? I do. I do. Yes. So this position is very good for us because we have an active king. And as you all know, having an active king is the best. chicken is the easiest. Yeah, that's correct. That, you know, chicken is the easiest to like digest and stuff. But beef is tastiest. Oh. Did he have knight f3 fork? No. But harder to prepare. Anyways, welcome back to the stream, my friend. Good to have you back here. How long have I been streaming? A couple of hours. Beef over everything. Well, somehow the results of the poll don't really reflect what you say. I only see 2 people voting for beef. Are you literally the only 2 of those people? I am one of the 2. All right. Hey, look, I'm about to castle manually. Fast pawn better than the queen. Yeah, maybe. Where do I move my bishop? What do I do? I'll move it here, sure, fine. Not a big deal. Takes. Alright, we'll take. Like I said, after king g8, we're going to castle manually. How about that? Did you see what happened this game? I don't even need to play king g8, but I almost want to do it for the memes, you know. Except for... Yeah, let's do it. Yay! We castle! Bang, bang, ding, 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 bang, boom, bang. Look at this. King went from e8 to e7 to f6 to g6 to h7 and then rook f8, king g8. It took us just 7 moves to manually castle. Isn't that the best thing you've seen today? I think that definitely deserves a like. The epic king walk. Chicken sandwich is all you need in life. Kinda. Every beginner's dream. Or chicken sandwich? I would say a chicken sandwich is more of a connoisseur grandmaster choice. And beginners would probably be eating... what's the most basic bitch thing that you can do with meat? Go to KFC. Okay, so the king walk. Yes, the king walk is correct. Nigel Short style. So the king went up and then down and then up again. So circled around. Avocado on toast. Yeah, but it needs to be, you know, meaty. Meaty. You understand? Meaty. Avocado is not meat. It's funny, what's this actually legitimately shocking to me. And I'm not even kidding. I am legitimately shocked that out of 9 people who voted, which isn't that many, but still, none chose pork. Like, does everyone just shit on pork these days? What happened there? Let's try Magnus. The transvestite opening. Nah, I have too much respect for my viewers. I'm not gonna do that. Pork is haram. Yeah, but that's if you're like Muslim. Alright, Kyle, GG. I think, didn't you say that the game that you played last time was the best you ever played against me? This one is also quite close. Alright, Mohammed is up next. Mohammed sent me a challenge. Do I have a challenger? Voted beef. because of steak and burgers. I'm lagging again. Not great. We're back. Okay, looks like it was a momentary thing, hopefully. So voted beef because of steak and burgers. But what about like a really, really nice and juicy kebab? And kebab is mostly chicken. 5 plus 2 is good. How about just 5? 5 plus increment is a bit too much. You're good for me. You are also good for me. Yeah, some people have. I'm experiencing lags. Some people don't. What time control should I send? Anywhere below 5 minutes. Well, 5 minutes included. My mom finally bought Bounty ice cream, even though I could have bought it myself. That's like the victory of the month, almost. Bounty ice cream. Yeah. I wish life was as simple for me at some, you know, in some moment. Bounty ice cream sometimes all you need. Let's see if Muhammad plays bishop c5 check. No? Okay. No means no. And in case of girls, no means yes, right? Nah. Oh God. That gives me such pain, such pain. Like by saying that, I just triggered a couple of memories of some really cringy, toxic masculinity TikTokers and shit, like that are literally bordering on stalkerish. Like when she says no, that actually means yes. She's interested. She just wants a bit more from you. No, piss off, mate. No. Oh, you experts in female psychology, my ass. Last time you got some was the Stone Age. How often do you watch movies? You know, I'm quite well educated on cinematography. Quite well educated. Can have deep conversations. On some films deeper than others. That's just weird, not gonna lie. That really depends on the context and the tone and the no. I mean, like, a no is almost always a no if it's like a girl that you just saw for the first time in your life. If that's someone who you vaguely know at least and is being a bit flirtatious, it's like stop, then you know, maybe. But girls that do that piss off. Nah, that was vaguely offensive, but don't do that, girls. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like this modus of communication, of being this really sensitive, really shy girl who's like, oh, no, you should stop, please stop. It belongs in the 18th century. It belongs in the 18th century. This is not how a human being needs to communicate, and this is immature and legit. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Just, you know, there is flirt. There is nuance to that. Let's get a drink. Be right back. What are you doing in my bathroom? She's into you. Yes, exactly. Be like normal people. There is playfulness and there is just plain stupidity, which invites a very unwelcoming behavior. So yes, just do normal human communication. Express feelings and express attraction in a very, you know, normal ways. Yeah. Don't do any of that. Okay. KS says POV just lost all your advantage. Yeah, it doesn't look like I am suffering right now. The only thing I'm vaguely suffering is all the crap dating advice that you see on TikTok. I'm not even on TikTok. But these guys somehow sometimes get on YouTube. Be human is a very racist statement. What if I'm a skinwalker? Last time I heard skinwalkers were... I can't think of anything funny, I'm sorry. That's a way beyond my pay grade. What if I'm an alien? Well, the Constitution of the United States of America does say you have unalienable rights, right? Unfunny, go to jail. But I have get out of jail free card. That's a joke that I would not get money for. In fact, I deserve to lose money for that joke. Someone should literally come to my apartment and steal money from me because of how unfunny this joke is. Horrible. But I wouldn't want to get robbed. What if I'm an NPC? But hey, I don't really have anything to... I don't really have anything to steal. Look, top 3 things to steal from Xclam's flat. Okay, give me a second. So one is very easy. One is my multi-use Starbucks cup that I got for free because I have like a loyalty card there. So that's one thing. Number 2. I have this really nice, how do you call it? Do you call it a grate? A grater, because the grate is the action, but how do you call the thing? Like, this is a really nice metal one. A lot of kitchens have those low quality plastic ones, but I have this metal one that I